All right, everybody, welcome back to, I guess, the end of season 3 and the reunion.
Woo!
We actually managed to get back together most of the cast. There was a bit of an accident, and which is why Cassius and brothers can't be here today. But everyone else was able to come out, so I appreciate you all for being here, and let's just jump straight into it. I think we just kind of have to start off here. Congratulations to Caleb for winning the season.
Yeah.
Good job.
My God.
So, Caleb, how did it kind of feel to find out you had won the season? You had to wait pretty close to a year.
Day of, I kind of had like a sense that I thought I won. I knew that I had Red, Llama, and Boston just based off things that happened. And then it was kind of just hoping I had one of the other four. But then actually watching the season unfold and like watching all that Isaac did, because I think Day of, me, and probably a lot more people had like less of a perception of what Isaac actually did. And then coming to find out that he really did a lot and did some insane things like forcing the rock draw and like... So anyways, coming to find out that he did all that and seeing, Expo went out and said he was probably voting him, it got a little more tense, and I had no sort of spoilers or anything. So I had to sit down and watch and find out like everyone else. So it was really exciting, but it definitely built up the tension over time, not really knowing what was going to happen.
Congratulations to you again. I think that there was a lot of stuff that really was kind of against you two being the final two. It's kind of miraculous that you guys made it there in the first place. So winning is no small achievement. So I would be very happy with that. I guess we'll flip that over to Isaac. Same kind of question. How did it feel finding out that you had lost after watching the season back?
It wasn't that surprising to me. I never was expecting to have a good shot of beating Caleb in particular. I was, prepared for that possibility. And I mean, that's pretty much all. It wasn't super surprising. Of course, it's disappointing not to win, but it's not earth-shattering information that I wasn't expecting and I'm crying in the corner over it. It's right. Yep, damn, would have been nice. I really put it all out. Wasn't quite enough, and you know what? That's okay.
No, you absolutely did put it all on the line, and we will come back to that in a little bit. Moving forward to Llama, watching the season back, do you think that there's anything you could have changed to have made FTC, considering you're kind of our fallen angel?
I don't know. The only thing that maybe I would have changed, and I've thought about this, was at Final Four giving my immunity to Liz. Because honestly, I think I would have won Fire pretty easily. No offense, Caleb. But yeah, that's probably the only thing I would have done differently. Because I don't know if Liz takes me, but I think it's much easier for me to beat Liz and Isaac in the final immunity. But that's really all.
That is fair. I guess I'll start with the answering of a question. Liz, if Llama gives you his immunity at 4, are you taking him to FTC?
Absolutely. If he gives me his immunity, I'm taking him. I feel like that's the biggest I trust
Llama
you
sad.
this much. That's insane. I definitely would have. I would have taken him. If he had given me his immunity, I don't think I would have had the heart to not take him to the end with me.
Okay, and I guess that leads me to, do you think that in that FTC you win, or is it just straight loyalty?
It would be interesting. I didn't have the perception of how people felt until after I went to the jury, but when I was still in the game, I've had the perception that people valued Llama's game over mine, but when I got to the jury and I actually talked to the jury, I feel like it would have been closer than I think it would have been if we had sat next to each other.
The nice part about this is that the entirety of the merge showed up here, so I guess we can just really quickly run this. Assuming the final 4 goes differently, Liz and Llama are your final 2, and Isaac and Caleb, you 2 are jurors. Who, just punch in the air, who would vote, I guess Boston, say it out loud, who would vote for Liz over Llama? It's 2. Obviously, this is not knowing what either of their speeches are like, so I guess... Not knowing their speeches at all, Liz, you kind of walk in with 2 votes, so I think it could have been close. I do think that you guys probably would have gone 4-3. I don't know exactly how, but...
I agree.
So, Expo, there was a lot that you kind of struggled with this season. You were very often panicking in your confessionals, which was something that the audience kind of commented on even as early as episode 1. But I think I have to ask, more than anything, what was the Isaac vote about?
I genuinely thought that Isaac had pulled the wool over everyone's eye, and I thought if he had made it to the end, he would have gotten the win. Obviously, I was wrong, but in my mind at that point, I had a lot to think about, and that was the main thing on my mind, and I just couldn't push past it.
I mean, that's fair. That's a compliment more to you, Isaac, than anything else that vote was. But yeah. So I actually want to ask a different kind of question to Spongy, because you're the person who made it the furthest, where this is your first kind of uploaded, recorded. How was this experience for you? And now that you've actually gotten to watch it back, is there anything you would change?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't really know what to expect to go into like watching the episodes each week like coming out, because the game is very different when you're playing it as opposed to when it's all put together for a story. And I've realized, man, a lot of you guys are assholes to like each other in this, but it's a funny way. Like I know I'm not upset about anything, but like as soon as I'm looking back, and it's like everyone's like, yeah, this funny guy, just fucking challenge guy, or Caleb saying, yeah, this dude's a dumbass, like a bunch of stuff. Like, man, I liked you people. So that was surprising because it never really comes off when you're just talking to them in the game. But I guess that's the whole point of the private thoughts. They get to talk their private thoughts. Something I would have done differently. I don't really know if there's anything I could have done differently. I would have forced myself to win more challenges. That way I didn't lose.
I was just going to say, you were kind of propped up as the big challenge threat for not being vulnerable in the pre-merge, and then just went on just a straight 0 for 4 streak.
I know,
as
bro.
soon as the merge hit.
On the Tennessee Titans the last 12 years, everyone's like, oh, maybe. But no, as soon as he got to the merge, and this wasn't seen in the final cuts, but every single challenge we went to, some wise guy, whether it be Expo or Red or Caleb, said like, "Oh, Spongy's gonna win this one. Let's call it out. Might as well just end it now." And I didn't even come close on a single one. So my reputation pre-merge kind of like stuck on me that whole time, and I think that is what ended up leading to me going home. But I don't think there's anything I would have changed. I played how I wanted to play, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think it is really funny because in the editing bay, I get to see everyone's unfiltered thoughts, and there is just so many words that you all had for each other this season.
Everyone's so negative, man.
And not to like butt back in, but to Spongy's credit, I think he is like that attitude is what made the season so good, because we all kind of like took it from the angle of making good TV. I mean, Spongy did nothing to deserve anything anyone said to him. He was so nice the entire time, and then we're all talking about how he's out of touch with the game, or how he's the, you know, what do they call Colby?
Superman in a
fat suit.
Yeah. Somebody DM'd me that. I'm like, dude.
Except he gained 20 pounds right when merge hit.
But he's absolutely taken it all in the chin and been really good about it since. So I think that kind of is like, that perspective is what allowed everyone to have even more fun, because we all said all this stuff and then we're all, you know, really good after the season, and Spongy might be the #1 in that category.
Moving forward, Boston, you were a very big point of contention pretty much all the way through until your elimination. I mean, that was kind of the big thing Isaac was pushing for at that vote, was like, if you make it to the final 6, you take over the game, might as well hand you the win. Do you feel like that what he saw was true? Do you feel like you would have gone on to win the game had you not gotten rocked out?
I don't know. I think it's very tough to say. As we saw in like a lot of confessionals, people were starting to notice that like I was getting connections built. I was definitely a threat in the challenges. I think I would have had a few avenues possibly, but I don't know. I feel like if the second I lose immunity again, past the final 6, it would have been tough for me. So I don't think there was a clear path for me, but there was definitely a chance for sure.
I know we had seen you in the trifecta, so Expo and Llama, how much further, because you guys were talking about when you were going to cut Boston. It wasn't like an if, it was more of a definite thing. So when exactly were you guys planning on cutting him after 7?
For me, personally, it would have definitely been final 6, the very next vote. I would have pushed for that no matter what there.
Yeah, I would probably say final 6 or final 5. Like, there's almost no way at least for me, that I would take him past that, because he's obviously going to win.
Okay, Red, you're kind of a point of contention in this season. We can look back on the Edgic and see exactly where your downfall kind of played out. So what exactly like happened at the final 9 that you just kind of decided that all of your more laid back conservative gameplay in the beginning was just going to kind of get put to 11?
I think the second swap kind of dictated a lot of how I thought the game was going to go. where I kind of became tribe versus tribe again, and I felt like I needed to like make a splash. So I started hugging myself up with the idol, and I was like, I gotta play it. And in my head, I'm like, I just don't see a world where if I just vote Neptune out, I'm not the next target. So I was like, why not? Because I feel like if I play my idol, like I don't play for Neptune, I play my idol next round, and I'm at one more round in, and it's like I don't see my avenue to the end really, I guess, if I lose too many allies. So I kind of took a more aggressive stance on the game.
I guess we'll move forward. So Neptune, I know the obvious question is why didn't you play with the safety without power? But instead I want to ask, is not playing the safety without power your biggest regret looking back at your game?
Actually, no. Like my biggest regret. Well, I mean, I have two big ones. I think my biggest regret is just kind of playing very passive, because as I watched the episodes week after week, I'm watching my confessionals and I'm like, man, I'm really boring this season. Like I just felt like I didn't do like anything. And like I don't think that's like an editing thing. I think that's just kind of what happened. I think I was just really, really passive this season. So that's honestly my biggest regret. But obviously, like, a close second would be telling Red not to play his idol on me and on Caleb instead. Because I was the one that told Red, hey, I think they're voting Caleb. Because I didn't hear his name out there. And so I was like, well...
Interesting. I thought Caleb said play the idol on me.
Well, he may have.
Had that dumb idea.
But he may have, but I just remember messaging Red and being like, hey, play it on Caleb. I think it's Caleb. And, yeah, I wish I was just selfish and had said, hey, just play it on me, bro. Because, like... either way, if I'm safe or not, or if the vote is me or not, I'm safe. So I should have just played selfishly, but oh well.
That's true. Okay, yeah. We'll now break our way back into the pre-merge. AJ.
Yo.
This is your also like a lot similar to Spongy. This is your first recorded experience, at least first to be uploaded that I'm aware of. So how was this for you, considering your unconventional game?
It definitely was not what I was going to be expecting going into this. I played one of the most, I think, out-of-pocket games, if you want to call it that. Like, just out of the ordinary. And nobody can experience what I experienced this season. I mean...
we really, truthfully did try to set the game up in a way that it would be almost impossible for the same person to get sent to the house twice in the pre-merge. Like... one of the times it was whoever was the first to like actually run up to me and say like send me there, and the second time we were like, okay, that person's got to be pretty confident, which means they're probably like relatively good at challenges. And so we ran that fake merge challenge, and as soon as I had saw that you were like in the back of the pack, I just started laughing. I had to cut it out of the edit because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, like I've just embraced it. I mean, like I put it on the jacket now.
Oh my god, you do have House of the Damned on your jacket.
Yeah,
I didn't even see that.
My god.
My boy.
Oh, that's what that is.
I embraced it at this point.
Now that's how you know the House of the Damned has impact, when you put it on your Minecraft skin.
That's funny.
Okay. Well, with brothers not being here, the next person up is George. You had a pretty, I think, laid back attitude up until the vote where you went home, where I gotta give you props. You kind of like masterfully duped Caleb there into selling his own #1 out. How do you feel like, I guess, better question, what is your game plan moving forward there had you
literally
not gone home?
Literally, I would have done everything Caleb did. I would have done exactly what he did, and me and Neptune would have been there, I feel, in my opinion. And that's no disrespect to Caleb and Isaac. They played beautifully, both of them. It's just, a twist got me. There's literally nothing I could have done. Like, people have come up to me and be like, oh, why didn't you then, like, switch your vote to Isaac? Then it's 2-2, and then there's no guarantee either one of them flip on me. And then if Caleb flips, and then it's a 3-3, and he doesn't actually have an idol, and if I did flip, then I just look like an even bigger idiot. There's, like, literally the twist made it so I go home no matter what, and it's a bummer, but I'm glad I did the season.
And then I guess we'll move back to Bianca. You kind of, I think, got swap screwed in a way.
No, really? I had no idea.
getting kind of swapped onto that tribe with a already pre-established type 3 from episode 1 was not probably your favorite place to be? If there's not a swap and, you know, it's not a weird swap at 13, but your tribe still goes back to tribal, and so it's right after the Logan vote, but your tribe is the same, who do you target in that vote?
Yeah, I don't know, because I do think there's a fair chance I do probably go anyway, because I was kind of in like the middle of like every single existing totem pole that was on that tribe. But I also think I had a lot of connections. Like I was close with Neptune. I looped in Isaac in the first vote with the whole Cassius bullshit. And I had things going with Red. I had a good working connection with George. I honestly don't know who I don't think I would have targeted anyone. I would have just waited for a name to be said and went with it, because I wasn't really in any position to be the one throwing names.
Before, still on that same unfortunate Zemsta tribe.
Here we go.
Logan. So we're gonna get to the brothers thing and how that tribal went down later. But I think biggest question for you is, do you have any regrets looking back on the season, considering you went out so early?
There's definitely a lot that's on my mind, several things on my mind. So when I first came into this game, I definitely felt like, and looking back at it, I felt like I was a bit of a sissy. A lot more than I thought I would have been during the time, getting caught up in the heat of the moment. Maybe I should have gotten more sleep. Maybe I should have done a lot more stuff, or just trying to throw out names in my round. Had the idea of throwing Neptune under the bus, which potentially could have worked. But then again, I was kind of zoned and boned, because it's I think I'm fairly one-dimensional as a player, and normally I'm able to get by because it's don't take me out. I'm a god at this game. If you take me out, you're freaking stupid. But I didn't really get a chance to show that myself, partially because of me being a sissy and partially because of other stuff. But in terms of mindset, I didn't really have many regrets, because once I got into the house, I don't really have any regrets, because there is the George thing. That was a very funny thing, whereas I was just basically weaponizing my emotions a little bit to get into the other house's head, because it's I didn't want any on my fucking tribe to win. And on game day, I remember when I saw those two at the final two, I was fucking livid. But that's outside the point. After watching the game, I love those two, but it's let's go back to the house. I weaponized my emotions. I didn't want anyone going. And I remember when George was telling me hey, your name's out there and all that stuff. It felt like I'm just patting you on the back and just letting you go by, just to blast some guilt away from me.
Damn.
When I felt why are you saying that in front of me? I don't like nice, because nice is always gonna be fake as shit. If you ain't playing this game without this cutthroat mindset, why the fuck are you playing? And that was my first thought coming into it. I heavily respect that kind of vibes afterwards, but I was kind of on my mindset. But regardless, I didn't give a shit who went out. I didn't give a shit who my number ones was, because at the time, I liked George a lot, I liked Red a lot, in terms of connections. It just, in the end, I was able to weaponize stuff and got something out, because you're out of the game at that point. You're not really trying to look forward, so you might as well make something out of nothing.
George, do you want to respond to that at all?
I literally tried to save your sorry butt. I wasn't being fake to you, and you know that. You're just full of it, dude.
I didn't know it. I didn't know shit at the time at all. I was just really pessimistic. I really didn't like many people at all. Dear Lord.
Yeah, I wonder why he got pre-merged.
The world may never know.
One of the things I'll be happy with the brothers thing is I convinced them to vote brothers.
I didn't fucking care who left. I didn't give a shit. I just wanted one of the three who voted me out to go.
Yeah, I didn't give a shit.
You three
I wanted to save Expo, so I was glad to help Llama and his crew to save Expo.
You three pissed me off the most with that shit, by the way. That shit y'all put on brothers pissed me off so
hold
bad.
on. We gotta get to Mooffin's question, but we'll go back to that brothers vote in a second. All right, Moofin, like AJ and Spongy before, is also your first recorded experience. So I have two questions for you. The first one is similar to theirs. How was this? I know you didn't get to go far, but the house, I think, let you kind of experience it just a little bit more than you would have. So how was this experience for you?
So nerve-wracking. I couldn't think straight the entire time. That's probably why I went home. But it was a good experience. But I don't remember anything from the house or the game really. It was a year ago, and I like the experience.
Watching it back, do you feel like in that first vote you were kind of playing too hard?
100%. I played way too hard. I'm so mad at myself. I rewatch it now and I understand why people voted for me. I would have voted for me if I were them. There's not really much you could do there.
That is fair. Nerves are a hell of a thing. without reigniting this yelling match flame a little bit, the brothers vote. Very, very interesting vote. I think the dynamics from the people in the game were really interesting, and the dynamics of the house were really interesting. So I'll ask, I'll start with the people who were in the game at the time, and then we'll work our way back. So for Boston, Llama, Liz, and what would have been brothers, and Expo, who were all there, what was that like for you? And you guys can talk in whatever order you would like to.
Fucking scary as shit, dude. I had my name thrown out. I had the house telling me that I could have been the vote. It was scary as fuck. Or it wasn't even the house saying that I was the vote. It was the house being ambiguous as shit. It sucked so bad.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that shit was so corny. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even watching it back, like that was like it was tough to watch. Like I was not worried whatsoever. I was 0-bit worried.
Yeah, I wasn't that worried either, to be honest. That's why I just said let's all just shut up and vote. Like, I didn't really think anything was going to change.
I didn't think
No
anything
offense,
was gonna change either, like literally at all. They misread completely the entire thing, and it was kind of funny, honestly, to watch back. I think that entire round was funny too, and watching it back when when Expo was freaking out that I told him okay, that really sent me. So
Expo did a lot of freaking out. Expo did a lot of freaking out that round.
I was like, what does okay mean? I'm like, it means okay. It means I'll do it.
Okay, and then I think we'll do the mediator here. AJ was there for that tribal, had no say in anything that happened. AJ, how was the brothers' vote for you?
So annoying to watch because I told these three exactly what was probably going to happen that round, and they did not even follow through what I asked them to do. Not at all. I told them brothers was probably on the bottom, and he was. I was spot on with that. And I told him, don't screw over brothers. Wherever he's vote, probably vote wisdom so y'all can save him. They didn't even do that. They just fucking voted out brothers. I sat there so pissed off because I literally just said to myself, I'm fucked. I literally just sat there saying I'm so fucked. I was so pissed at y'all that round. Like, y'all looked like fucking idiots. Just to put it bluntly. Y'all look like the biggest dumbasses ever that round.
I'll reopen that to George,
Okay.
Bianca, Logan.
So those two really wanted one of the other three, and they were so undecisive in what they did. I was finally like, okay, screw it, we're just gonna help Expo because I like Expo a lot. So I didn't care about like what their plan was anymore because they couldn't do it. So I was like, screw it, let's help the bigger guys and help them out win. I'm not part of the corny speech or like, oh, let's intimidate them. I was just like, all right, screw it. I'm going to just help someone because I didn't want to get anyone else really to get screwed over like I was. So for me, I really wasn't interested in what they were going to do unless they actually committed, and they could not commit. So I was like, screw it, we're changing the vote. And they followed me. They did as I said.
Yeah, I guess
I know. I admit, emotionally, I was kind of hung by the balls by the skeezer. I'm sorry.
I get
To be
you.
fair,
Yeah.
I didn't really care that much, honestly. I just wanted to be funny. I just wanted to be a jackass. I just wanted to be a dumbass. Literally, I got what I wanted. So it's like, I don't know. It's up to me.
Yeah, my perspective on it was literally, I didn't give a shit who went home. That's why I was so indecisive on it. And I just wanted one of the three who voted me out to go. I didn't give a shit who went. I didn't really care about the pre-existing dynamics because I was out of the game. As soon as that tribal was over, I was closing my computer and heading to bed.
Okay, that is fair enough. We'll move past that vote then. We'll move on now to the, I guess, direct after vote, because I have one question I want to ask about this AJ vote, and that question is to Boston. That is probably the round that you were the most indecisive on. Is every single round you came in, I always looked at your confessionals, you always had a plan. That one you were really tore up on. So can you just kind of walk me through your thought process and why it landed on AJ had to go?
When me and AJ first talked, like day one, like I didn't talk to him. He was one of the last people I talked to. But after we talked, like I don't know, I just felt like just a great connection, and I wanted to keep him. I wanted to protect him. And as the game went on, it wasn't shown in the episode, but like I had like a fake isle or something, or I don't even know. I gave it to him when he got like swapped away or went to exile to like protect him on the other side. Like I wanted to keep him, and then obviously we got to the new tribe, and it was not looking good because the four of us, me, Liz, Llama, Expo, have been, we're all like, we're in different alliances, but we're at that point in the same alliance. We just got out brothers, and I knew if we lost that challenge, AJ was going to be in trouble. And my thought process going forward was just, we need a unified group for the merge. We are a unified 4, and we're hoping that we can pull Spongy back. So I didn't want to let go of AJ, but I feel like for my long-term game, it just made more sense to keep the 4 of us who like have already worked together and are in alliances with one another. Like, it just makes sense going further.
Looking back on it, watching how angry I was, I look at myself stupid because I'm wondering why the fuck I was angry, because they had every single right to vote me out, because I was so flipping on every single one of them at the merge. I was going to flip on my OG tribe. I 100% was flipping on them. I would have flipped to OG Orange in a fucking instant because I did not trust any of them at the time, besides like Boston somewhat.
That is fair enough. Okay. We'll move a little bit further past that. I only have really 1 or 2 questions for this merge vote. Liz, you threw that vote there, which I gotta say, very underrated move from the season, because that definitely would have worked, because you had 100% figured out that they were voting for Llama. I don't know exactly how secretive they were about that, but
Not very.
Not really.
you knew
Yeah.
they were voting for Llama, and you knew you had the idol. So sniping out Isaac would have been an insane kind of play there. Were you worried about any other potential throne votes with you having like played? You were gonna play the idol on someone else.
Well, I had been holding on to that idol for a while at that point anyway, and I was like itching to do something fun. So I figured at that vote, that would be a pretty nice time to make some sort of move. Throwing my vote, I mean, everyone was so at odds at that point of like trying to like make a move here, make a move there. I was pretty sure with how close the vote was going to be anyway, that nobody was going to throw. But even if they did, I mean, at that point, I caused rocks, so it's still kind of fun anyway. Unless the vote was on me, then I wouldn't have liked it, I guess. But
Okay, and the second question I have about this, so Neptune, you get an advantage in this round that you decide to go home with. What was your thought process on not playing the safety without power that had just been handed to you?
So the first part of my thought process was that, you know, I didn't think that the vote was gonna be so public, because really the only names out there was me, Llama, and then I think Isaac, which nobody ever really voted for Isaac. I mean, everyone always threw out Isaac's name, but nobody ever really voted for him. So I for sure thought that the old, I don't even remember the name of the tribes, the old green tribe, I thought that they were for sure keeping things like under wraps in case of an idol, and they were going to vote for Red, or they were going to vote for Caleb, you know, somebody whose name was not out there. So I was like, okay, for sure, that's what's going on. So, okay, I don't need to play this, and they need my vote. Because if I go, then, you know, whoever they want to target, they're going to have one more extra vote, and they're going to get them out. So, I don't know. I thought my vote was important in that tribal, and that's why I stayed. Because I thought that the power dynamics of the merge was going to be really dependent on that vote. And I didn't want to screw the people that I was working with by using that. But obviously I should have been a little bit more selfish.
It was a very straightforward vote. I think part of that was by design, and part of that was just a lot of people who couldn't keep their mouths closed. Admittedly, a lot of plan leakage on this cast. Speaking of plan leakage, Red, at the final 8, kind of talk me through your frustrated thought process that vote, because you were definitely pissed that entire round.
Yeah, partly because I felt like I had a pretty good read on the game. Like, I mean, I would go home that round, but whatever. But like, I felt like it was pretty clear to me that Spongy was on the bottom of that group because they were always kind of throwing out his name. And I feel like he just didn't see that as much because he had such a good connection with Liz, and Liz was keeping him close, you know, because they shared the idol and everything. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why is Spongy not flipping? I feel like I had nowhere to go really at that point when Spongy didn't want to flip. So I'm like, in my head, I'm just pissed off. Like, this ain't happening. I'm definitely screwed here if I don't win immunity. I lose immunity. I get back to camp. They're just telling me bullshit. They're like, oh, you gotta vote one of Caleb or Isaac. I'm like, what? I'm not doing this shit at all. So I'm just like livid the whole time because I'm like I was trying to get a flip going and then nothing was working. I felt like obviously the numbers were against me at that point. It's like I thought the OG lines were just sticking here, so I'm like, this game's gonna be boring. This merch is gonna suck. So I was just trying to throw everything at the wall, and it just progressively made me more and more upset because I'm like, damn, this game's gonna suck.
That's fair. I'll turn that over. I didn't include the footage of the conversation me and Liz had, but you were definitely going through it at that final 8 round. I'll give you the chance to talk about it however much you want to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm old, you know, not old, but like I'm older than I was when I started this at 18. I'm 26 now, and my bedtime is at 11. So
Real.
at the time, it was like 4:30 a.m., maybe close to 5. And I was getting there to the point of where I felt like I was going crazy, because I was so tired. But I wanted to play the game so bad, so I joined the call with you, and I was just going through my feelings of like how I felt. But I definitely didn't want to quit the game. I was more mad that I was so tired that I felt like I was gonna fall asleep before the game ended because I had put so much of my effort into it, and it was like really tearing me apart that I was so tired, and then I felt like I couldn't put my full effort into making sure that I was making the right moves because I was so tired.
I think now is a better time than never to talk about this final 7 vote.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going into this vote. I'm just gonna kind of jump around with questions. We'll start Isaac. Up to this point, most of your airtime on the season has been about like frustration and your name being out there and not wanting, and things just kind of not going the way that you want them to. I thought that this vote is really cool from your perspective, especially, and from a narrative standpoint, that you kind of just take the game into your own hands, or at least you try to for the initial vote. You don't know the house is coming originally, but you're still trying to plan this move against Boston. Can you kind of walk me through what the final 7 round was for you?
I felt like I had been working really hard throughout a lot of the first half to just try to claw through and survive. My name was getting thrown out from seemingly nowhere. Now watching back, I know why it was getting thrown out repeatedly, but you know, and it just felt like no matter how much I tried, and I felt like I really wasn't like, I was like sitting there thinking like, what am I even like doing wrong at this point? Because like I was trying to build good social bonds on the original tribe. Then we get basically the worst possible swap. I lose probably my single most loyal ally, and then my other most loyal ally turns on me for something that I didn't even do, and I almost go home. And we come into the merge, we're down in the numbers, and it just feels like there was no end. Every single person I was talking to, for the most part, was either stonewalling me, or I could just tell, even if I went with that option, mainly being like the Boston me Caleb like trio option, I just looked at him like, I was basically felt like I was stuck as this outsider to the dynamic who had basically no power to actually do anything. So that's why going into Final 7, fresh off of like the red boot, having to let go of him, and still feeling like I don't even know if I'm gonna have anything, I knew that that was the point where if I didn't do something and I didn't make the most of the opportunity I had at that time, then I was basically just going to fall to the wayside, whether it was being, you know, picked off in the next couple votes or just kind of being an irrelevant person to the side for however longer I did last.
That's very well said. Well, we'll kind of flip that here. Boston, Final 7, you were feeling very confident. You had this move set out to take out Spongy that you were definitely a big part of. Although at the same time, it was the first time you hadn't won immunity. Had you felt like you were going to be receiving votes at the Tribal Council you went home, or did you feel just pretty good going in?
No, I knew my name was out there. Llama and Caleb and maybe Liz told me that Expo and Isaac were coming for me. I remember the episode. I was like, oh, my name's out there. I'm actually excited. I knew I was getting votes. So I was thrilled that like my name was being out there. Like That's the first time I'm like, my name's truly been out. Like it was just full and exciting, but I trusted Llama, I trusted Liz, I trusted Caleb, like fully 100% that round. I felt like we would definitely have the numbers. I was doing my best, just spam messaging Isaac and Expo, like, yo, like I know what you guys are doing. Like you guys gotta do Spongy. Trust me. And I really did not want Isaac out at all. Like I wanted to go with Isaac, but I totally get his perspective. Like he needed me out because he didn't want to be in the passenger seat all game. Like I totally understand why he needed me out. Same with Expo.
Without the next people I'll ask, you probably wouldn't have, and that's gonna have to go over to AJ and Red. Boston going out by your guys' hand was kind of, I guess, initially unintentional. So talk me through the final 7 vote from the perspective of the house.
I remember when I came into the house, I was like pissed off, obviously, and in my head, like obviously it was directed mostly to Liz at the time, and my view of the game was like Liz and Llama were like running the game at that point, and I figured for a vote we should like have a diversion with like Llama being the main one behind it, but we actually vote Liz. I do think I probably should have included Boston in that trio because I knew Boston was in a good spot. I just didn't know like how much power he held in the game, and he was kind of on my back burner because we never really talked Emerge like at all, so he was never a focal point for me, which is probably a miss on my end. But I think like the way we approached the vote was AJ was just gonna say like, oh yeah, everyone knows we ever pissed at Llama, and like he hammed it up really well. I think at Tribal the whole time. I mean, I definitely took more of a backseat at Tribal, mostly because I was way too vocal the first 2 rounds. So I'm like, yeah, let me just chill, apologize to Liz, and let me sit back for a bit.
Being in that house for those 3 rounds, like the constant talk between like me and this dude over here, brothers, was we just wanted purely revenge. And honestly, my revenge was kind of stupid bitterness over Llama, who I really should not have been bitter over, but neither here nor there at the time. I don't know what my mindset was going on there, but
very angry cast.
I was just very pissed at Llama for some reason. I really wanted revenge on him, and that mindset just stuck with me and brothers for the whole time we were at the house. But we also, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, but we had talks about like maybe we should think ahead of like other players too to consider maybe going after as well. And primarily I think we were settling on mostly like Llama, Liz, or Expo, I think, to probably go after if it came down to it, because we were just mainly pissed at those 3. But when Red came in and told us that they were prepared for us probably going after Llama, I just instantly was like, yeah, no, fuck that. We're not giving them an easy tribal. I'm not letting them get an easy vote out of this.
Liz, you make your max aura play of the season and incorrectly play. You talked a lot in the voting booth. Your vote was, I think it was like 2 minutes you were in the voting booth talking that I had to cut out. What was kind of going through your head playing the idol for Llama? Like what were you intending?
This round for me was so insane. I had just come off of like a screaming match with me and Red. I was hyped up, I was asleep, and now I was not. I was definitely not, and I was thinking way too much. This whole round, I just wanted Spongy out because I felt like I couldn't play the game with him there because he was my duo, and that was already perceived. So, and he was following me around everywhere. So I was like, I know you want to play the game with me, but I want to play the game by myself now. So that was my whole thing, was I wanted to wake up, I wanted to vote out my person, which sucked, but also it was what I wanted to do, and then I wanted to move on and play my own game and make it interesting. But I had heard such like mixed signals when I came to Tribal Council about who it was that was getting voted for, and when all these members came from the house, I was like, oh fuck, what do we do? Because that whole round I had spent like talking to Boston, and Boston was hyped up and he knew people were voting for him, and then Llama thought people were voting for him, and then I thought that there was a possibility that they could be voting for me, but then AJ had his speech and really said that he wanted to vote for Llama and that they were going to vote for Llama, and I was like, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to play the idol for Llama, and I made my mind up, and it ended up being for me. So after I sat down and I heard my name, I had fully accepted my own death. You know, I had just fully accepted death. You know, like I went through all 5 stages of grief at the same time, and I was ready.
I wanted to, I guess, go over to Spongy, other half of the tie at that vote, and
Yeah.
of course, proud voter of Caleb in the minority.
Oh yeah, multiple times I wrote his name down, even to win. So.
That's true.
Yeah,
Spongy, what was
yeah.
that round for you? I need to hear what kind of was going through your head when you found out you were in a tie.
To this day, even after watching, I still don't know where Liz gets the whole Spongy won't leave me alone, won't leave me alone. She was my number 1 ally. I don't know if I was hers, but I gave her everything. I literally gave her the idol. It was ours. And Boston as well. I gave that kid everything. I gave him everything. Sorry, that man, that big burly man. I gave that man everything. And yeah. And to be honest with you, like going in that vote, I'm the only person who I think here in this game can really say I was not dishonest. I was not unloyal. I was the only loyal person in this game, and that's fair. That's the game. But yes, I was completely out of it. They made a play against me. There was a lot of lies, and I got caught in it. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy in a scornful way how the game played out, because karma came back around. I did everything I could at the beginning of the game to benefit Scroocha, Green Tribe. I did everything I could to benefit Liz and Boston specifically. They were my people. And even coming into the merge, I did not want Neptune. I wanted to work with Red. I wanted to work with the other side. But because Boston and Liz wanted something, I sided with them. And they turned around and threw that right in my face, which I still think was the wrong decision for them. We could have been the most powerful 3 in the game. We could have won. One of us could have won. We probably should have won. But they made their decision, and looking at the jury, we went out back to back to back to back to back, and I feel like that's just karma coming back around.
It's the way that I play the game, and it sucks, but I know I can't win challenges, and I know that that's not a strong suit of my game. So I tend to surround myself with people that I feel like are better than me at the physical portion. So I had Boston, I had you, and then when I got separated from you and Boston, I made a really tight alliance with Llama, and I was kind of faltering on the idea of being aligned with both of you, because I could be aligned with one guy that can win the challenges, but I didn't want to be aligned with 3. So my plan was to kind of draw that line, I guess. I know that you were loyal to me, and it sucked because you were so loyal that I was trying to do stuff behind your back that I didn't want you to know, and it was hard to do it while you were there, you know?
Yeah.
So when Red mentioned during our fight that he attributed some of the things that you had told him to me, like you telling him that he had the choice to vote between either Caleb or Isaac, and he attributed that conversation to me despite me not saying a word during that conversation. That's when I knew I had to get rid of you, because no matter what you did, it was always going to come back to me.
And we're going to wrap out this final 7 round with a question for Caleb. Winner of the season, actually both the final 2 here, you went to rocks at the final 7. 1 in 3 chance that you just go home. Is there anything in that round that you regret regarding getting to that point? Like, would you have let it get there had you known that there was going to be a rock draw?
I have so many thoughts on this round. To keep it concise. So Spongy, I obviously was dead set on voting Spongy there. This goes back to something that isn't really shown that strongly, but it's referenced consistently by me, which is the fact that going into merge at that round, that episode was long, so it's not your fault. I don't even know if the conversation was recorded, but we had, me, Neptune, Red, and Isaac, but we had just spent the last swap doing the podcast with Spongy. So we had a really strong sense that Spongy might actually flip and be a 5 with us. So our conversations at Merge weren't 4-person conversations, they were 5-person conversations, until Boston came to me and he basically told me everything that we were telling Spongy was going straight back to Boston via Spongy. So that's when I was like, forget Spongy. And then obviously that comes out and me voting him, and obviously he's voting me, so it's like so anyways, we get to that vote. Boston is selling me on Spongy. This is the round that I finally learned to trust Boston. So I'm like, sure, this is awesome. I'm glad this is happening. It ties. I'm like, the whole tribal, I'm like punching at Red. I'm like, Spongy, 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 like through Minecraft trying to communicate, not messaging, just like punching. And we get to the tie, and I'm like, well, I'm voting Spongy again. Who cares? Also, this is kind of the mental fatigue thing we talked about, but I was like, Spongy, I don't care, whatever. I vote Spongy again. I don't think twice about it. And then you come back with the revotes, and I'm like, counting the votes in my head, I'm like, wait, this could tie. And I was like, what happens if it ties? And I'm like, I'm trying to rock with 2 other people. And it was entirely just a brain fart, like I said in the episode. So it's even more credit to Isaac for being able to successfully manipulate the revote to end up in a rock draw like he wanted, because I so easily could have had that brain blast beforehand and been like, oh, let me just flip to Liz, because I didn't care if Liz went home there either. So yeah, I mean, in the end, I think it's really fortunate the way things went, obviously, because, you know, me and Isaac ended up going to the end together. But I think Boston going home is kind of this giant move and episode and culmination of a lot of things, whereas me and Isaac going would have been a really boring continuation of what was happening, even if it was unintended. So I think a lot of people got really lucky with how it ended up going. I give a lot of credit to Isaac for being willing to do that, which is insane. But yeah, I think it's really lucky that it went the way it did, because a lot of people risked a really boring outcome that didn't end up being that, and ended up being the biggest travel of the season.
I think that is a great way to end it off. It was, in fact, the biggest travel of the season. Most players, most chaotic vote. Mm-hmm. So we're now going to move to Final 6, and I've got just 3 people I want to ask questions to at this vote, and that is, 1 is to Expo. You win immunity, and you find at some point before this round this advantage. So how did it feel walking up, placing the bell, ringing that bell in front of everyone, and then me just kind of breaking it and it falling straight on its face?
How do you think it felt? I had a sneaking suspicion it was false, right? I literally found a hole in the ground on one side of the map. I was like, oh, there's a bell in here, and I read it. It's like, oh, ring the bell, you'll get immunity, and then and you can't say a thing about it, and someone else has to ring the bell, and then they get immunity. It was a whole thing. And I read it, I was like, okay, this isn't real, but it feels like it could be real. I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I thought making a show of it would be good. And
I would say it was good.
Look like, oh yeah, it was great, but it made me feel like a fucking fool.
That's okay. A little credit where credit's due to Caleb. He made use of his downtime, and that was a very funny moment. So yeah, I'm gonna now move it over to Llama, who got the majority of the votes at this tribal council, played his idol very nicely, didn't have to play that at 7. Do you, looking back, knowing that you had full layout of the battlefield, you could have gone Liz, you could have gone Spongy, you could have gone Isaac or Caleb. Seeing that Isaac and Caleb make it to the end, do you regret voting for Spongy?
No. Like, it's not really shown in the edit, but I had wanted Spongy out since, like, the merge vote. I had wanted Spongy out so fucking bad the entire season. Like, I don't think Spongy did anything wrong. I was just afraid of his immunity wins, which obviously we've talked about since the pre-merge. But yeah, I wanted Spongy out so bad for so fucking long. And that vote, I was like, oh, I don't really give a fuck. I'm voting Spongy. They can all vote for me if they want to. Like, Spongy's going home. I don't really care.
That's fair. Spongy, 2 questions for you. First question, watching back the stuff that people said about you on your boot episode, a lot of people started really, like, I think your game had been talked up maybe since episode 1 or 2, and it had just been kind of compiling against you. And then right after you get into this massive tie vote, people go to rocks for you. Well, not for you, but you're safe from the rock draw. Mm-hmm. And then how did it feel to kind of watch back everyone go, well, can Spongy even win?
Going into a vote where I'm the one person out of everybody who has no fucking clue what's going on. I mean, if anything, that benefited me. I mean, you saw, I went from being the consensus target by pretty much everyone in the game to getting every single person to vote for who I wanted to go home. Now, do I think I was the sole reason they voted for that? No, but hey, we'll take it. But it's crazy because it took my entire alliance turning against me for me to finally wise up and drink the red Kool-Aid of like, oh shit, I should probably work with Caleb and Isaac. And I did. Them having the perception that, hey, maybe it is the best idea to go to Final 3 with Spongy after all. That only benefits me. And looking at the challenges that came afterwards, I really do think, given just one more round, I really think I could have won every single challenge that's left. I know that's cocky, but I really think I could have, considering who was left in the game. Going into that Final 6 round, after everything happened, after Boston went home, we went back and had, as the title says, couples therapy. I locked in with Caleb and Isaac. Like, I felt confident going to 3 with them. And if you're looking at all the idols in the game, there's still a merge idol missing. So I just kind of threw it out there like, hey, I ain't seen you a lot, Caleb, because we never talk, because I, like, at all. Hey, I bet you have the idol. And I figured if I could just pretend like he had it, I don't know, maybe he'd be silly enough to actually admit to it.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect way to also start transitioning into the final 5 vote. Caleb, you have Spongy come up to you after he writes your name down twice and talk about an idol that does not even kind of exist.
Yeah,
what was
it
that like for you?
It was just the most fortunate thing ever because, yeah, I don't think the episode, like, it showed it, but me and Spongy had a long conversation. I was fully transparent.
It was
like,
long as hell.
I was like, I have no one, you have no one. Let's just do this. I don't care. I was so honest about I don't care who I go to the end with. It's shown again at Final Four when I give Llama the deal that I'll take that I'll bring him to the end if I win the final challenge. Like, I hit a point in the game where I'd been on the bottom for so long that I was like, I'll go to the end with whoever. And I think it also kind of, I started to have that like understanding of that Spongy wasn't as in the know as I thought he was, so I felt even better. But I was just willing to go to the end with him. We had a really good conversation. So then he says that, and then whenever I was like, at first I was like, no, and then I was like, wait, why am I gonna fess up? And then he said, I saw you digging around, and I don't even know if that was true, but I had been digging around to hide the bell advantage. So I was like, I can sell this. So then I didn't know that he was going to blow it up at Tribal Council. I was kind of hoping, because I knew he had other allies, or at least I thought he did. At that point, he was a little more isolated, but I was hoping he was going to float it out to some of the people. And then it blowing up at Tribal was just awesome. When he did this, I was like, this is going to be so good. I really hoped it was going to sink in with everyone. And then when we got to that final 5 round and everyone was just like, yeah, well, Caleb has an idol. I was like, it's once again, I keep giving him credit, but Isaac being able to see through that and like knowing they're throwing a vote on me and trying to get a vote on me there, because I knew that, you know, I wasn't for sure good, but I was pretty confident that it was going to carry me. And then I did the whole thing where I played the fake idol because I wanted to seem like less of a liar if I needed to maneuver more later on in the game. But yeah, to sum it all up, it was just a blessing from Spongy. It went perfectly.
Yeah. I think we'll move over to Isaac now about this final 5 vote. You correctly, I gotta say, figure out that you think Caleb's bluffing. You're like, I don't think there's a 5th idol this season. And so you try to bring up this move, obviously the correct move for your game, considering you lost to him. Why did you go to Liz after not having worked with her any round before that?
I knew Expo trusted, and I think, you know, Caleb a lot. At that point, the 3 of us were kind of like somewhat acting as a trio at that point. And also, I knew that he knew his name would be really in it, and I just did not think he would be willing to take the risk, which ended up being more correct than I even could have ever imagined. That he would definitely not have gone with that move. The way I looked at that vote was that would have, had things been the way, I guess Expo was not going for me, I looked at that as the only way Liz realistically survives that vote. And I didn't really think that Expo's whole thing was meant to be taken seriously, that I'm saying, which was obviously wrong.
Liz, this one also kind of mixes into an audience question that was asked, is had you not been so untrusting of both Isaac and Expo, you would kind of realize that everyone was telling you the truth at the time. Who out of the other 3 would you have voted for? Would it still be Expo?
No, I would have voted for Caleb that round, honestly. And honestly, I thought about doing it anyway. I was really conflicted because I had been pitched a lot of plans. That round I had been pitched Expo by Llama. I had been pitched voting for Isaac by Expo, and I had been pitched voting for Caleb by Isaac. And that was 3 things that I had. And I wasn't sure who was telling me the truth. I hadn't had that great of a connection with Isaac, and I feel like we had been working on separate sides that game, but it seemed like he was being more genuine than I thought Expo was being. I did not think Expo was genuinely going to turn on Isaac. But had the threat of the idol If he had really played up the fact that he knew that Caleb was bluffing, I feel like maybe I would have done it. And then also, if we had had a couple more prior connections, I would have been able to trust him more. But that's just how the game crumbled. I don't regret voting with Llama. Obviously, we had a really strong connection throughout the game, but I do feel like it would have been spicier had I read that and voted with Isaac.
Okay, and I think that pretty much wraps up our gameplay. I'm going to get into some of these audience questions, and then we'll finally figure out fan favorite, hero, villain, best duo, best move, and who wins worst move of the season. Actually, I will give this credit. It's the first question that was asked of anything sent in. It was to AJ. Why did you get so much more mean when you entered the house?
It's simple. It's simple because I was out of the game. I didn't give a fuck. Might as well just go free will and just say what the shit I wanted to say. I didn't give a fuck. That's what the confessional's for. I love talking shit in my confessionals and just being an ass. It's fun.
Rude.
It's fun.
That's base. That's base as fuck, bruh.
We'll move through these pretty quickly. Red. How many, approximately how many points of aura did you lose for playing something incorrectly?
Oh, how many points? Well, I started pretty high. I think I lost about, I say 2,000 out of my 3 million I'd saved up at that point, so.
Oh, it wasn't a big hit then.
Wasn't a big hit. I mean, I recovered flawlessly, dare I say, so.
Okay.
God.
All right. To Bianca, if you had been swapped at that swap onto either the purple or the green tribe instead of the New Zemsta tribe, how much further in the season do you think you would have gone?
That's at least one more tribal. That's the only thing I think I can guarantee, because I don't think I lose that challenge if I'm on a different tribe. Maybe that's just the ego talking. I don't know. But
yeah, you can credit that to your other tribe mates, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though I did kind of fail that jump, but we weren't winning anyway. But I don't know. I think I had a lot more allies, especially on my OG tribe. But I think I would have been able to get in better with other people of the other tribe. I just don't think the people I was swapped with were people I could really work with, not at the state of the game it was at.
Yeah, we're gonna shotgun through this a little bit to pre-merge house members, move into AJ. Do you feel like you, I guess we'll not include AJ because AJ went at the last possible tribal. So we'll go move into George. Do you feel like you went to tribal at the right time? And if not, when do you think you could have gone better?
I don't think I did, because Boston went the next tribal after. And I was so bad rewatching that, because I would have been over the moon seeing Boston go to tribal, because I think it's no secret I wanted him gone. I am mad that I went the tribal. I voted out George instead of the next one.
At the time, I didn't really care, but at the same time, I do remember, like, I wanted to, like, wait one more round, because in the end, deep down, I wanted to see AJ win at the time, and I got kind of hung by the balls, but, as I've said previously, but, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
I don't know what would have been the right time for me. I think I kind of left at the perfect time, just kind of outside of game. I wanted to go the fuck to bed. I was in the game for all of 3 rounds, and at the time I left, it had been 11 hours. So I don't know how much longer I could have taken just sitting in a house for 6 hours, especially alone if I didn't go. So I think I left at a great time just for my personal sanity.
For me, I both wanted to help at first those two, and then they couldn't make up their mind. Then I was like, screw it, I'm gonna help Expo, Llama, and Liz. And then I still got called corny by them. Thanks, guys. But
on me, don't worry.
But I also was just like, I don't want to stay, but I only stayed out of respect for you and the crew, because like I didn't want you guys to feel bad, because like I did not enjoy this twist one bit, I won't lie. But regardless, I think it was the right time, and I was able to at least get back at Jabroni a little bit for screwing me over, though I think what he did to me is worse.
I mean, I could have gone with the other house members, but if I remember correctly, I remember having a conversation with them, and it kind of sounded like they weren't waiting for a majority. They were just kind of hoping to go whenever it was, I don't know, I guess the right time, quote unquote. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like there was like a plan from the other house members. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna go to the tribal and see what goes on, and then have my little jury seat ready.
To Liz and Red, how are you guys doing after that final 8 round?
I hate that guy. Oh my god. I'm kidding. No, we made up for sure. We're good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I apologize. In the season that I watched it back when Joker showed me, when I was doing post stuff. I was like, damn, dude, I was an asshole the whole round. It was pretty fun. I like reached out to Liz. I'm like, so sorry. I just saw the clip. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that sucked.
It was so funny when I got that apology. I'm like, there's no way he feels bad about it. It's been almost like a year since we argued. It's happening.
Yeah, but then when we were watching Liz, it was like we were heated.
No, I watched it after that. Like I had to do posts with Joker, and I watched it after. I was like, wait, we were kind of like rude. What the hell?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next question. I'll answer it. It's to me. It was what made me choose to do a Final 2 season. The correct answer to this question is, even though I don't like Final 2 seasons because I think a Final 3 vote dictated based off of who wins a challenge can be predictable, this season proved me wrong after I made fun of Caleb for about 8 immunity challenges in a row about him not being able to do anything correctly. He pulled it out, and I'll give him that. But I do think most of the time Final 2 seasons they don't go that way, and I got lucky. And not to say I'm never doing one again, because I'll probably definitely do one again in the future, but gotta keep people on their toes. They can't just assume that it's always going to be Final 3. And so yeah, we'll go to the jury members, and this is including Caleb in this scenario. Who would win in a Isaac and Llama Final 2? Obviously, Isaac's speech would be a little bit different, and you didn't hear Llama's, but I'll just do this real quick. Boston, you can say it out loud. If you think that Llama would win a Llama Isaac Final 2, then please punch in the air if you'd vote for him.
I'm punching right now.
Okay. If it's Llama versus Isaac, if you would vote for Llama.
That's, I believe,
His
5
muscles are so big.
Llama.
Notice how it's like almost all of OG green.
Yeah. It's the OG Green Tribe.
And we all said yes, and we're all sticking by him.
Okay, so yeah, Llama would 4-3 beat out Isaac from the OG Tribe
That was
lines.
5-2.
Was it 5? Oh, who was the 5th that punched?
Caleb was punching.
Caleb.
Oh, see, Caleb hates you.
And he just blamed Isaac even in death.
No, I didn't have a good understanding of Isaac's game as I do now. At the time,
That's
I
fair.
thought, like,
Watching it
listening
back
to
and being there in
Llama.
person is definitely different.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
so different.
definitely.
It's so different.
I had a completely different
I mean,
perspective
I thought
on
Llama
it.
played the better game, but I was always voting Isaac. I mean, Isaac was second on my list, so. Oh, Jesus Christ.
People who made Merge. How big of a threat was Spongy, like, actually to win? Like, if he sat in the Final 2, who was gonna, like, really vote for him?
I wasn't. I'm sorry, I wasn't.
I could have.
If he had made it there, I was voting for him. After
Yeah, I think there's a
everything, hell
good
yeah.
chance I voted.
I think
was better.
Spongy's a really
He was
good
next
social
to-
player. I think that's one thing that was really not talked about, which is funny, because the whole thing was, oh, he's a big physical threat, but nobody really talked about like how likable Spongy is. Like, to me, I think he's really likable. So that was like the big
Thanks, dude.
threat, like radar thing to me. Also, shout out Spongy, SpongeTune podcast coming on Spotify soon.
Hell yeah. I think
Aw,
for
you guys are so cute.
I think for me, I get Spongy was social, but what I had heard for the 2 rounds before he was eliminated was, oh, Spongy's like, Spongy's doing this, Spongy's doing that, and it was only negative. And I was like, I just, in my mind, it didn't see a reason to take him out, especially since up to that point, the only individual immunity he had won was the first one at the very start of the game.
The physical threat, it's very funny. I just really love that the physical threat won no immunities. But the 3 people who won 2 all went out the first tribal they could afterwards.
And it was all the trifecta.
It was all the
Good
trifecta.
work, boys. We sold the game.
Llama's sold the game. No.
I love Giesel.
That's so good. All right, we're gonna shotgun through these last 2 questions. We're just gonna go cast member by cast member. Very easy answers. First question that everyone's answering is, what was your favorite challenge that you competed in? We'll start with Movin.
Wow. Okay. I've got a whole lot to choose from.
We have a
probably the one
house
I won.
challenge. We have a house challenge, yeah.
The one I won, the endurance challenge that lasted a grand total of 10 seconds.
Yeah, that
great.
wasn't edited down or anything. That was live time. You guys just really dropped
10
the
seconds.
ball on that challenge.
Did brothers use the white rock advantage? Can I know?
He got voted out right after.
Yeah.
Great.
He died, dude.
Okay, Logan.
Don't tell you otherwise.
I guess the first challenge, honestly, it was like pretty well crafted. To test a lot of fundamental skills that I liked, and completely misinterpreting what the hell the rules were with the banners when we were like kind of edging close by. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but it was still well crafted overall.
Yeah, I made that challenge. Okay, Bianca.
So now, do I be conceited and say the one I won, or do I give the actual answer? Is the question here.
The actual answer.
The actual answer, I think, is the second one. I love challenges that are like a mix of a whole bunch of different skills. I don't like, oh, you have the parkour course, get to the end, you win. Oh no, Slime Shocky wins every single time. But I don't know, that's just a fun challenge to me. I like it.
Yeah, I made that one too. George.
I want my bow rematch. That's my favorite because I love bows and PvP. That day I was rusty. I doubt I would win again, but it's what I'm best at, and I would love to challenge that person again.
I cooked you, old man.
Hey, Sonny, respect your elders.
I think mine was the I think the challenge, the round I went out, that death battle challenge we did, whatever it was called. I don't remember.
Oh,
what it was.
battle maps, yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
But yeah, I liked that a lot. Honestly, I just love that kill I got on red with that instant death potion. That was like a clean kill there.
Fuck you for that. You one-shotted me.
All right, Neptune.
Definitely the team parkour challenge. That was so much fun.
Yeah, you guys pulled that out of nowhere. I'm gonna be honest. I
was-
went to that challenge and I was like, oh man, this tribe is gonna lose.
It was so high stress, but I feel like the communication was really, really good on our tribe. It was fun. It was fun because we won. If we lost, I would have been pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Beating Llama and Fire was fun.
Alice, you got lucky, bro.
I love the PvP challenge. PvP challenge was great. The escape room was great. No one's mentioned that one yet, so I'm giving that a shout out. The parkour was great, where we won so quickly, and then started making fun of the other two teams. So I'd say that was all fun.
Okay, fair enough. Boston.
I really enjoyed the first merge, like kind of relay one, where there's like the bow, the trident, the fishing rod. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay. Fair enough. That one, it's funny because I don't think it was ever pointed out by anyone, but that we just made the little like fake merge final 11 swap. That's just that challenge but bigger.
Oh hell yeah! No, I enjoyed it, and I came from behind. It was so fun.
That's true. Okay, Spongy, the big challenge guy.
Dude, I loved wind charge dodgeball. That shit was fun.
I'm glad. It went longer than we wanted it to, but I do think it was a good time.
Honorable mention for the part of the escape room that no one did, the little banner puzzle.
Oh my god.
We had him put that back on our camp just so we could do something for 2 hours.
Awful.
God, I remember that.
Oh,
And you
man,
guys, oh man.
We didn't even see it.
Okay, Expo, what's your favorite challenge?
Sorry, no, they were just that banner. Sorry, that's not my answer. But the banner puzzle was hard. I said, guys, this is really difficult. They're like, no, it's not. And then we put it in our camp, and no one solves it.
2 hours. It took so long.
No, my real answer, I hate to say it, it is the Final 5 challenge, the fucking mansion.
I really did enjoy these escape room as well, but I also enjoyed, nobody mentioned this one, but the one that was kind of like OTEV, where we had to like find stuff and then bring it up the mountain.
I love OTEV.
That was really fun too.
Llama.
I like the Final 5 one. Honestly, maybe the only reason I like it is when Expo fell in the snow and I saw him. Oh my god. I was so happy. I had the biggest grin on my face, bro.
Yeah, that fall into the
I
snow
should've
sent
just
him
stood
home.
I should have just stood still after that.
All right, Isaac.
It would have to either be like team parkour, mainly because like the last jump and making it, but I would honestly probably say wind charge dodgeball. It was just a lot of fun, even though it took long. I think it's one of like the only challenges I didn't eat like total shit in. So
It's fair. And then Caleb.
I have a lot of answers. Honorable mention, the team parkour. It was so rewarding to win with that group and not have to go to tribal with that group, all for me to sell it on the next challenge by not seeing an item. Fire making is an honorable mention. My obvious answer is Final 3, but I feel like that's a little boring. So actually, I think the biggest one is Final 4, because that was such a progression of like where I was at in the season to where I ended up in the Final 3. Because at the beginning of that challenge, I was like, whatever. It took me so long to get on the platform. I was like, I can't win this. Let's just wait till Llama wins it. And then having that like gradual progression to the point where I was like entirely convinced I was going to win it on that last run back. I mean, Llama, I don't know. It was obviously cut down, but we were on that for so long. Llama was trying it for so long to figure out what he had.
41 minutes.
So when I'm on my final run back, which is like a 20-second run back, I was like, oh, I won this challenge. This is insane. And then to lose it was obviously killer, but that kind of opened my eyes to that Llama could be beat, which obviously amounts into the next episode.
Okay, and then last question before we get into our superlatives. And this we're just gonna go through, not heavy explanation, just yes or no. Did you like the House of the Damned twist from playing in it and from watching it back? And we'll start with Mufin.
Yes.
Okay, Logan.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Bianca.
Are you sure I can't give an explanation?
You can
Okay,
give an
fine.
you can give a small explanation.
Personally, I didn't like playing in it because it made me stay 6 more hours. That's it. It was good on paper, but I didn't enjoy it personally.
Okay, George, I have an idea.
If we count my experience from doing YouTube camps for Total Drama in 2009 and my Minecraft, I've been doing it for way too long. Out of all the twists I've seen, it's probably my least favorite, and I think it could have been much better with a few more tweaks. I think a little bit more time in the oven would have made it better.
Okay, AJ.
I think the
He's got
the
the
jacket says it all.
shirt.
The jacket says it all. I
Neptune.
really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay, Red.
Yeah, I'm on the side of no, probably. I mean, it's fun to watch, I think, but for a player, I didn't like it.
Okay, Boston.
I'm gonna go with definitely no.
Okay, Spongy.
I think it was great. Perfect. It was awesome.
Gave you a second chance, Budgie, and you blew it right after.
Fuck off.
Expo.
I wanted to play with Bianca. The only way we did was because of it. I think it was really fun, yeah.
Sweet. Liz.
It wasn't that bad, but they were all mean to me, so I'm gonna say no.
You voted me out. You deserve that.
Probably the person who is the most critical of the house throughout the game, Llama.
Oh, I loved it actually. I thought it was awesome.
This is high praise from the man who said "fuck these house members."
The
All right,
members, not the
Isaac.
house.
what do you think?
That's a yes.
I don't know, man.
It's a yes.
Okay.
Yes for me.
Obviously.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it was a fun switch from what you're used to seeing, and I could talk a lot about a lot of different rounds, but I think the only person that really got the bad end of it was Boston. I don't think any other tribals
George.
the outcome changed.
And George.
No, I don't think George, because I still vote
George.
George. If they don't come, I still vote Isaac.
All right, we're gonna go from the back to the front. So we're actually gonna start with the best duo of the season, and we're gonna have you guys stand up here. Cassius and Brothers were not mentioned in this category,
No.
so we're not gonna have to worry about that. We're only gonna do the top 3 for this category, okay? And in no particular order, I'm gonna need Liz and Llama, I'm gonna need Caleb and Isaac, and I'm gonna need Mufin and Boston.
Spongy, we were robbed, bro.
I know, dude. In another world.
Another life.
Let's fucking
Okay.
go, bro.
Genuinely in third
Isaac is
place,
Crazy.
and genuinely in third place, with only 2 votes, which does get third, is Mufin and Boston. You guys can take your little.
Rob.
Oh my god.
Rob.
All right.
We got robbed, bro.
And we'll announce officially in first place with 10 votes versus second place with 7 votes is Liz and Llama. You guys are everyone's the best duo.
Let's fucking
All right, you guys can go sit back down. Congratulations on the 3 best duos of the season.
That's wild.
I'm telling you the truth.
I love that. Joker, you gotta show me the
It's
statistics
Cassius.
later, man.
Yeah, we can go over some stuff afterwards. Okay, these are just gonna be announced. I'm not gonna make people get up on podiums for this. We're gonna go best move first. We're gonna raise people up before we push them down. Best move of the season is with 10 votes is Isaac forcing rocks.
Woo! W.
Double fucking
Good
you,
shit,
bro.
Isaac.
Thank you.
In second place is Caleb's fake idol bluff. And in third place is George rug pulling Caleb at that vote. Honorable mention goes to the Neptune blind side and the fake Sacred Bell advantage.
Fuck, man.
Okay, now we get to worst move. We'll go from bottom up on this. We'll go honorable mentions. We have an honorable mention of Liz wasting her idol. An honorable mention. An honorable mention of Isaac forcing rocks with just 1 vote.
Okay.
We have an honorable mention of Red going nuclear. We have an honorable mention of Red's aura idol play. We have an honorable mention of Red at the final 8.
Okay.
Same thing.
The same thing.
Yeah, and we have an honorable mention of Red getting the house to vote for Liz. Actually, the top 5 worst moves of the season, we have in 5th place, tied with 2 votes, Neptune not playing the safety without power.
Thank God I didn't get first.
You don't remember that, man. I think we know what it is.
We have
should've played it.
tied it with 2 votes in 4th place. We have George voting for Caleb at that tribal, knowing the house was voting for him. And also tied with 2 votes, but for 3rd place is the AJ vote out. All right. Next, we got our 2nd place goes to the House voting out brothers with 4 votes.
Woo!
And
Let's go! Razzie!
the winner of the worst move that everyone looks back on the season is Expo voting himself out at the final 5 with 5 votes.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
GG, bro.
Score Expo.
No, I knew it was
Despite
coming.
everything,
It's
I
fine. Hey, I'm on there.
Let's go.
I'm on there. You know what I mean?
You're on
You
the
got,
thing.
you got a first place, man.
themselves out.
Got a first place somewhere.
You gotta watch the final 5 to see how that happens. It's a very good show of it.
I don't even want to know.
All right, we're gonna go. Let's start with villain of the season, and no particular order. I need these 5 people to please stand up. Logan,
Excuse me.
Llama, Liz, Boston, and
Yes.
Red.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the hero of the season when I saw who was coming up here.
All right,
Chilling
you
villains.
5. In 5th place, we have Logan with 11 total votes.
More than I
Damn.
thought. Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
In 4th place, we have Liz with 18 total votes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Not bad.
A lot more votes on this.
And then we have in 3rd place, Red with 24 total
Holy
votes.
cow.
Damn.
God.
Honestly, I feel like me and Boston are heroes. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, we did
I
heroes,
beg to
bro.
differ.
No idea.
I don't think we did anything wrong.
Mufin painted a picture.
We were good.
In 2nd place, with 25, one more than Red, is Boston. And with
Wow.
27 votes, Llama is the villain of the season.
That's what you get for being the
Crazy.
majority all season, buddy.
Okay, now we've got our hero of the season vote. Will these 5 people in no particular order come up? AJ,
Ooh.
Isaac, Liz,
Oh.
Interesting.
Caleb, and Spongy.
I can't decide.
I was Caleb there.
That's crazy.
Okay, out of you 5, in last place, the least heroic of the people standing up here is Spongy with 10 votes.
Oh my
No, it's not.
It's okay. I know the truth. Okay.
Recount the votes.
All right.
Dude, that means someone probably voted Liz for both categories, by the way.
I can't.
I know.
Next, we have with 14 votes, 4 more than Spongy, Liz.
I got 4th of both.
Place.
Oh my god, I'm in top
He gets more votes than Spongy.
You're
without
literally
Spongy
yin
with
and
a
yang.
knife in his back.
You're
from
yin
her.
and yang, Liz.
I'm
Get
everything.
stabbed right now.
I'm an
Chaotic
anti-hero.
neutral.
I'm an anti-hero.
You know, obviously. Okay. In 3rd place with 15 votes is AJ.
I like good top 2.
We're the
Good top
heroes.
Wow, the two.
Our heroic, unwavering
have-
duo.
We have
Yeah.
a very heroic duo that never, ever thought about doing anything else to each other in this season. Our final 2. I'll go for the most heroic person. I'll say this. 2nd place got 19 votes. That is 4 more than AJ. 1st place got 29 votes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Which is the most votes that anyone got for any of these categories.
Oh my god.
The winner of Hero of the Season, which can only be reflected in both their gameplay and their confessionals. Isaac, you are the hero of
Yeah,
the season.
baby.
boy.
Thank you, fans.
Okay, we have the ever illustrious fan favorite. In no particular order, I am going to need Exbo, Caleb, Isaac, George,
Holy crap.
Red, and Liz.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my God, we're up a
AJ.
lot.
Oh my God,
And
7
AJ.
people.
And almost
All
half the
right.
cast, by the way.
You all are tied for or in your own category for
Yeah, bro,
fan
I didn't
favorite
vote
of
for you.
this season.
Please have Liz and I be the same.
Oh my god, please.
All right.
That'd be great.
In 5th place, tied with 10 votes each, is Liz and George.
Damn it. I
Rob.
wanted to see Red.
All right. In 4th place, tied with 11
Shit.
votes,
Oopsie.
is Red and Caleb.
Ah.
Wild.
Gotta be
Wow.
top 3 favorite.
Top 3. We
There
made
you
it.
Hero of
go.
the season, so right there.
In 3rd place, with 14 votes, is AJ again.
Yep, third place.
Oh my god.
The third
I'll take
place
it.
man.
Our top 2
I'll
was a
take
difference of 1 vote.
Oh my
Ah.
god.
One of you got
Damn.
18, one of you got 19.
Oh my god.
Good luck. Good luck.
Fan favorite of the season is also who we call the hero of the season. It's Isaac
Oh.
in 1st place
Congrats,
as this
Isaac.
I
season's
overstepped.
fan favorite.
Isaac
oh my
won the
god,
fans.
He's so heroic.
Oh
He's
my
so
God.
heroic.
It's so heroic.
Oh my
Everyone look towards me really quick for the
Oh
screenshot.
my god.
And sweet. Okay, let's all come back over here. I also want to point out that out of
Oh,
that
oh.
nobody
Over here.
nobody got 0 fan favorite votes. Everyone
Oh,
got
yay.
at least 1
I'll take
point.
that.
We love
Nice.
this.
I will take that.
Man.
If a Joker,
Let's go.
like, come on, man, who's last?
It's Joker.
Yeah, it's
It was
me.
me.
I actually didn't get any votes.
If it's me, it's me. I
Wow.
don't know.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys all for coming out and being here for this reunion. Honestly, it's kind of jarring having most of us back in the same place. I've really enjoyed getting to revisit the season and talk about it, and I think that it goes without saying that the season is only as good as it is because you guys are its cast. I could build this season 100 times, I could pull the same twists, I could pull the same challenges, and I don't think the season would have gone this way. You guys are what made it one of my favorite seasons to watch of all time. And I just want to give a thank you to all of you for that. And I think without a further ado, that is a wrap on season 3.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good shit, bros.
Who wants to get drunk?